So the big difference between this build of Possibility Storm and the previous one that we had played, if you're keeping track from the last time, is that this build has lightning bolts in the main deck as opposed to being more sweeper focused. We still have a good number of sweepers in the 75, but we do have bolts in the main now for more spot removal as opposed to sweeper based. The other change is that we have Walking Ballista as the 0 drop that we're tutoring up as opposed to a endless one. This means we can't play artifacts in the 75, but it also gives us some nice flexibility to be able to play the card out, and it allows us to play Academy Runes as a way to recover our combo piece should our opponent play a discard spell on it. I'm a big fan of like picking my battles, and as someone who doesn't have strong feelings on what my hair looks like, I just would rather let her win. I feel like a lot of people who fuck up relationships and like have lots of arguments stem from the fact that like people decide to stand their ground on like things that they don't ultimately really care about. So like, unless something like is really important to you, don't argue about it. The last time we played this deck, it felt more competitive to me than any of the other Blue Moon style shells that we have played. This combo finish, I think, is better than Kiki. I think it's better than Through the Breach. I think it's better than Platinum Empyrean. It feels very, very reasonable. The new title, Stream Relationships 101. Yeah, communication is important. When you do care about something, you should talk about it, and you should stand your ground. But like, I feel like a lot of people are just like, they like choose to bicker over things that just like, they ultimately just like don't give a shit about. It's like, does that thing you're fighting about, do you really care about it? Or are you just like trying to be a dickhead because you want to win? If your goal is just you wanted to win, you should probably like consider being an adult. So holding the Izzet Charm up here allows us to spell Pierce a Liliana the Veil, which is nice. If they don't jam a Liliana the Veil or something, we can Izzet Charm. We can double Opt, which is decent. So Opt looking better than Sleight of Hand here, which is nice. Why do you think it's better than Kiki, etc.? I've seen this deck go off and it not be enough. And so like, what do you mean go off and like, how is it not enough? How is untapping with Emrakul and then attacking them for 15? What does their board look like that getting to attack with Emrakul, being able to disrupt them playing future spells, what does that board look like? They were a super wide aggressive board. So if they weren't able, if that wasn't enough, was that build playing Kozilek's Return in the sideboard? Because Kozilek's Return solves a lot of the issues that you have with boards that go wide. Yeah, you get the extra turn. You get to untap and you get all of your mana. Also, I really feel like a lot of people undervalue how much Possibility Storm disrupts what your opponent's able to do on their turn. So you'll see I'm not quite playing out the Tolaria West yet. So for people that are new to the stream, what this deck does is when you put Possibility Storm into play and then you cast Walking Ballista, which turns into the Emrakul in your deck. And these copies of Tolaria West can transmute to find Walking Ballista for us. Yeah, it beats control decks, and it fucks up a lot of combo decks on its own, too. Messes with a lot of combo decks. Alright, so this is a pretty aggressive turn from them. I'm probably going to fetch a basic mountain here and bolt this Bloodbraid Elf. And then double opt this turn, just like digging for Possibility Storm. What's the plan if you draw Emrakul? You have copies of Izzet Charm to loot it into your discard pile to shuffle it back into your deck. And you have copies of Jace to brainstorm it back into your deck. Hey, Deja, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. Welcome. The switch to Ballista over Endless One is because Ballista's a better card to draw. You can also put Ballista back on top of your deck with Academy Runes, should your opponent have a discard spell to take it away. So we're pretty far behind here. I'm just gonna go get my Ballista and then like hope that we rip a Possibility Storm next turn, I think. Yeah, the Teferi just wasn't really doing anything, so I cut it. No, we've only played one league with this deck so far. This is the start of the second league, but we've never lost the game after we comboed with Possibility Storm to date. Fatal Push, Fatal Push. All right, so we're going to 1 here. And then if we rip a Possibility Storm, we get to Emrakul them. So here's hoping. Dead. I didn't have anything to draw with Izzet Charm there, right? No, because even if I loot, I only have 3 mana up, so Cryptic Command's not going to be enough. Next card, that's a shame. Yeah, so like basically the opportunity cost of playing Walking Ballista instead of Endless One is that you can't play artifacts in your 75, which I think is like a fine opportunity cost. I think that's all I want to do. Is this an Abrade matchup? This might be an Abrade matchup. I'm going to trim a couple of Remands and bring Abrade in. I think I just want more cards that play to the board. Try and keep us alive longer. Yeah, but like at that point, I like have to reassemble my Ballista in addition to drawing Possibility Storm, so like I don't really have a good sequence to actually win the game. I don't think Blood Moon is that good in these matchups. Did you notice my opponent fetched their basics right away that game? The only thing Blood Moon is very good for in this matchup is for turning off their creature lands. And I think if the game's going on average the way we want it to go, I don't really care about turning off their creature lands. I really feel like people overvalue Blood Moon in these 3-color mid-range matchups. Blood Moon, especially against Jund, is the type of card where Blood Moon in this matchup basically says, roll a 6-sided die. If you roll a 6, your opponent loses the game. If you roll a 2 through 5, your opponent is slowed down a turn or 2. If you roll a 1, you paid 3 mana and discarded a card and accomplished absolutely nothing. So I'm not a big fan of Blood Moon. Like, people, I feel like, get so focused on the games where they roll the 6 with the Blood Moon and it just wins in the game that they forget about all of the middling games where it basically just doesn't accomplish anything. That sound is the motors in my desk legs, lowering my desk down so I can sit down for a little bit while I stream. I don't think Blood Moon is well positioned in Modern right now. I think, like, if your deck can support it, it probably does enough to be worth playing, but I don't think it's very fantastic by and large. Pretty easy mulligan there. Well, I mean, that's a keep. If there's a land on top of my deck, I'm actually just going to go Flooded Strand pass. If there's not a land on top of our deck, we'll go fetch Shock Steam Vents. Ding. Yep, yeah, I agree with that, iDeath. And, like, cards like Stony Silence, like, encourage people to think that way in this format, but by and large, I think there's less cards that say, I cast this and win the game than most people think, than most people realize. This opt is looking pretty good here again. Like, next turn, I'm gonna get to go, fetch Shock Steam Vents, fetch Untapped Island, pass, and if they play a 2-drop that I want to Spell Snare, I can Spell Snare it. If they play nothing, I get to go ahead and opt, so... The ops are seeming pretty okay, as like our extra cantrips, basically. I'm not going to fetch Shock twice here, and I definitely want double blue up, so I'm just going to get 1. I don't really know what we're looking for at this point. I guess Jace is actually kind of okay, right? Which feels weird to say. I'm going to go top here, and we'll play the Tolaria West tapped next turn, and then we'll have Jace on 4, which will just die to a Bloodbraid Elf, I'm sure, but this is our best plan at this point. Another discard spell? Nope, nothing. I'm actually just going to pass the turn here back to myself. Thanks for jamming the Heartless Summoning Pile. Would you jam it again with an updated KCI list? Yeah, for sure. I think the archetype is sweet. I think it's something people want to see. It's a neat idea that people wouldn't mind seeing developed. Bob Fadant. Yeah, I'm going to Spell Snare that. Just, like, get while the getting is good. Be sweet if they missed a land drop. Tilt. Alright, I'm going to play Jason plus him here. I think I want to plus on myself even, right? Like, we don't know what they have, so I don't know what I want to keep from them. So I'm just going to use this as a scry. Tolaria West on the bottom. Yeah, I'm going to bottom that for now. If we want another land, we're looking for a red source at this point. I'd really like to draw more action, like a Cryptic Command or a Lightning Bolt to potentially clear up whatever they put into play here. It's a Maelstrom Pulse. That's sad. Pretty sure it's right to play around the Bloodbraid and the Lightning Bolt there, but it feels bad to just, like, not get any card draws out of my Jace. So that's a good draw. Looking for a red source. Huh. I think I need to bottom that. I think I just need the red source. Ding. I'm gonna go bottom here. I'm probably shuffling Dispel Pierce or Shock something next turn anyways, but... I actually really like Alpine Moon in some decks. Like, for example, the red-blue Delver Fairies deck that we played on stream. I'm looking forward to playing Alpine Moon in the sideboard of that. The fact that it covers Valakut's a big deal. A lot of the Tron Hate cards they've been playing recently don't cover Valakut. Alright, well, we're keeping our combo card. Game's about to get a little weird, chat. Game's about to get a little weird. This is the Reed Possibility Storm pause here. Moto bugged, you always seem to lag after you cast Possibility Storm. Our Possibility Storm not working out quite as well as theirs. Alright, so we have, I think we're just dead here at this point. Because they get to fire up the Raging Ravine and crack us for 10. And then they have more than enough permanents to keep their Tarmogoyf should we even hit our card to combo next turn. I think we're just gonna die. I know Belcher got overwritten by some big donations. And that game's like a great example of like why I'm not a huge fan of these blue-red decks in general. In fact, I think if I want to work on this archetype some more, I really want to try and shove it into a Jeskai Nahiri shell, because Nahiri is a way to get Emrakul out of your hand if you draw it, and she's another way to leverage the Emrakul in your deck. So, I don't even think that's written off to bad draws. I just think that, like, Tarmogoyf's a big problem. Yeah, the complete inability to remove large creatures, I think, is a very, very big problem. And I talked about that game where I don't think Blood Moon is actually very good right now, which I think this is one of the big things you gain by not having a third color. So, like, if the thing we're gaining isn't very good, like, it's not a worthwhile limitation for ourselves. Scred takes a long time to kill a 6/7 Goyf. Yeah, I think I want to try a Jeskai Nahiri shell for this combo. I feel like the possibility, like, basically your combo shell is like 10 cards, 4 of which are lands. So like there's 4 Possibility Storms. I'm on the play or the draw. I'm on the draw. I feel like Anger's probably good on average in Modern, so I'm gonna keep this against a blind opponent. I feel like there's Well, I mean, you can't play Snapcaster Mage in any of these decks, right? So, like, that's the drawback to playing this combo as opposed to, like, other combos that could exist. You are correct, is that we can't play Snapcaster Mage. So I think I would try and fit this, like, so your combo package is, like, 4 Tolaria West, a Walking Ballista, and Emrakul, and then some number of Possibility Storms. So, this deck. Okay, so a little sad that I kept the Anger. This is why I waited to cast the Serum Visions. Allergic to something in my basement, apparently. I'm allergic to 6-7 Tarmogoyfs, chat. They're coming for me. Good news. This is a matchup where Blood Moon is good. I am definitely allergic to Valakuts. That is the truth. Bolt is a bad card to draw. I guess I'm just going to go bottom here. Our Cryptic Command's pretty good. Do I like Siege Rhino decks? They're fine. Siege Rhino's a fun card. I like helixing people. How good is Chad Tribal in the current meta? I think it's, by and large, a bit worse than just playing, like, green-black mid-range, but it's doing okay things. Ugh. That's true. It would let us loot through the Anger. So maybe it was worth keeping. Just like, it's like, am I keeping like a Singleton Faithless looting, basically? We could kill a Titan. We're gonna Cryptic a Titan. And by Cryptic a Titan, I mean I actually can't next turn, so that's sad. Now, I think I'd rather have... I think Path is just the better card, especially in a combo deck that can kill them before they get to leverage their... Before they can leverage their full downside. It's a lot of Siege Rhinos, Anoronics. Yeah, well, now we're double bolting the Titan for sure. Alright. Smart on the opponent's part. They fetched around Blood Moon here. We will have Cryptic Command up next turn. So, like, if we're, like, exceedingly lucky, we'll draw Walking Ballista and a 5th land here. Oh, it's a clunker. It's a clunker. Maybe we will have time. Maybe we will have time to get to another league today. Because this one's going to be quick and we're going to get dumpstered out of it very quickly. We just need to find too many things at this point. I'd keep taking draws here, but the fact that we drew Emrakul just means we need too much at this point. Stroke is good. This is another reason to play Disdainful Stroke and Negates in your sideboard rather than a narrow card like Ceremonious Reduction. They get to come in this matchup too, which is great. This matchup shouldn't be that bad for us. We have a lot of meaningful interaction and we have like a relatively fast combo kill. That's pretty clean. Seems good. Yeah, when I finally work on it, Exterminator, I have like 2 or 3 people that keep asking me for the Jeskai list, and I haven't actually written it down yet. I'm basically just gonna like start with the Jeskai Nahiri shell we played last time and like strip the Snapcasters out of it to start. I guess this is okay. Okie doke. My body is ready to remand. This is technically our combo here. This gets us a Walking Ballista. We actually didn't get to the all-in visor list. We had a couple people donate to cut the line. Yeah, I tend to hold on to my treasure chests. I don't plan to sell them until they hit 2.5 when the value gets adjusted again. I don't think I have that list offhand, Death Eater. We're going to fetch Steam Vents here because we need red for this possibility storm. Really want to draw some more lands here. One of the things that this build did is the person that built it cut a copy of... What was I going to say? They cut a copy of... They cut a land out of the deck, which I think is maybe wrong. Like, Tolaria West are, like, kind of lands, but, like, they're also combo pieces, so I feel like erring on the side of 26 lands is probably fine. Howdy, Pinky. Life is swell. So they're only going to get up to 5 lands this turn, so even if they're on the Through the Breach build, we have 2 Dispels to take care of Through the Breach. Discord is great, Death Eater. Emrakul Drinker, I don't look at Twitch Whispers until I'm done with my stream for today. So that's a good heads up for everybody. If you send me a message while I'm streaming, don't expect a message until up to an hour after I'm done streaming. If I don't respond to a message you sent me, you should always... If I don't respond to a message you sent me within a day, you should message me again, assuming I missed it. This is not guaranteed, GG. If we hit a land drop, we win the game here. If we hit an untapped land, we win the game here. Yep. That's unfortunate. Hopefully they're going to cast a spell next turn and we can remand. Yeah, Remand kind of buys us some time. If they don't have anything else going on, they can just, like, sit here and kill us with this Bloodbraid Elf, though. God bless. Thinning your deck is statistically insignificant. Losing 2 health is not statistically insignificant. So people, unless you are drawing a significant portion of your deck, the amount of percentage points you lose by thinning your deck is negligible. And you just shouldn't worry about it. Sure, it's not accomplishing anything in this specific scenario because I'm lining up to combo. But in a game where I'm not lining up to combo, Walking Ballista would be very reasonable here. But because I'm explicitly lining up to combo, you're right. Walking Ballista is identical to Endless One. Cast my Emrakul, which means I get the extra turn trigger. Yeah, the fact that Possibility Storm protects itself too is fantastic. That's pretty lucky I found my Emrakul when I cast that. The other good thing about having 2 Jaces in the deck is if you cast Jace with Possibility Storm out, you get Jace. I honestly think the upside of being able to Academy Runes back the Endless One against Thoughtseize, or the Walking Ballista against Thoughtseize decks is pretty sizable. I think that's a non-negligible upside. It seems pretty good. Probably fetch Shock Steam Vent Serum Visions on one here. Hey, Kelvin with the 4-month tier 3 resub. Thanks for the big resub. I appreciate that. Be sure to drop me a message in private. Let me know what you'd like your donation deck for the month to be. So even though I drew a basic island here, I'm going to fetch Shock for Steam Vents to cast the Serum Visions. And the reason why I'm sequencing this way is because if I bottom cards I don't want to draw with Serum Visions, I don't want to shuffle them back into my deck next turn. I want to avoid shuffling them back into my deck as long as possible. Yeah, exactly, that too. So like when we cast it, we can get it back as well. I agree with that assessment too. And again, the same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and fetch a tap Steam Vents here and then play the Serum Visions. Although next turn, we're probably going to tutor for a thing. Let's see what we draw. Oh, there's the Walking Ballista naturally. All right. Well, I guess I'm just going top here now, right? And next turn, we'll go tap T West, hold up Izzet Charm. The games where you just, like, naturally draw the Endless one are so good. I mean, you get to keep the Emrakul. So, like, if you have a couple of Kozilek's returns and you can flash one of those back to clear the board, and then, like, take your opponent off of all of their lands, it shouldn't matter how much mana they're at most of the time. If this hits a ramp spell, I think I'm actually gonna counter this ramp spell here. It actually did come up, that the Endless one could, what was it? The Endless one triggered Kozilek's return flashback, which was interesting. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this so I can hold up Cryptic Command this turn. So my opponent's deck's Titan next turn. That's pretty bad for me. I'm just going to let this happen. If they don't play anything that I want to counter at their end of turn, I'm just going to bounce Valakut and draw a card. I'm a big fan of playing Mono Greentron right now because I think having access to a lot of basic lands is important. No, read Kozilek's return. You can answer that question for yourself by reading the magic card. Do 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 do. Titan would be bad for me because it would give my opponent enough permanence that they would be able to sacrifice their lands and then kill me on the backswing by attacking with their Titan. Well, we're waiting for the third match in this league to pop. I'd just like to thank everyone for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time memer, streamer, content producer here on Twitch. I stream Magic full-time here. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are a big part of why I'm able to stream full-time like I do. If you're not familiar with Twitch, subscriptions start at $4.99 a month, and the different subscription tiers gain different benefits on my channel, such as being able to dictate the deck donation queue that we have. You can check out bit.ly/HugoSellout for details on how my donation queue works on stream. You can also support my stuff by supporting some of my wonderful sponsors. Cardsphere.com will love to help you turn some of your cards into other cards or cash direct with other players. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off the top. Mac Weldon provides premium men's clothing. Using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/HugoClothes, you can save 20% on your first order of premium shirts, polos, underwear, socks, all sorts of great stuff there. And of course, this stream wouldn't be possible without viewers like Anironics, Justin Nivik, and all of y'all out there. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. Had a great weekend. This deck, like most of the decks we plan to stream, is a viewer-submitted deck. If you didn't catch all the matches, we're heading into the third one now. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel later, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. 100% of the matches that we play on stream get archived there, and I break them up by deck and by format, so you can watch just the ones that you care about. This is our second league with this deck. We're currently 1-1 in it. We played an iteration of it earlier that we 5-0'd with, so running it back with some changes to see how they feel. See what we got next year. Do I plan to use the green screen for more stuff? Yeah, at some point in the future. I don't intend to do it for every stream. We're actually going to take it down tonight, but it'll be back for different special occasions in the future. I feel like if we use it too much, it'll wear out the wonder. Seems decent. Hopefully it's a matchup where Blood Moon is good, not one of the typical aggressive modern decks. Like, could you imagine this hand if our opponent's playing humans? We're just like fucking dead. Go to YouTube and in the search box type Jeff Hoagland Blue-Red UR Possibility Storm. It'll show you all of the wonders. Basic Forest Noble Hierarch. Okay. Trinket Mage is interesting. I feel like it's probably too narrow. Like, I feel like I'd rather just have the Tolaria West to make my land drops with rather than playing Trinket Mage, but I definitely haven't tested them. I could see there being merit to testing it. I don't know, like playing Grey Ogre in Modern has a real cost. I feel like the opportunity cost of playing Grey Ogre is higher than the opportunity cost of playing Tolaria West. You need ways to pick up Tolaria West. No, you just, like, don't play the ones that you want to transmute. Like, sometimes you have no lands and you have to play them as lands, but, like, the Tolaria West, you have to realize, like, a lot of these Blue Moon decks only play between 20 and 22 lands, so, like, this is a 21 land Blue Moon deck with 4 combo pieces that can sometimes be land drops if you need them, too. I mean, I don't know about Windmill. We're gonna, like, sheepishly play this Blood Moon against my opponent who has basic Forest and Noble Hierarch. It's not about to be a good scene, but it's going to be the scene we're living in. Like, they're going to fetch basic planes here, and, like, this Blood Moon's just going to, like, look terrible. I mean, is it really a decent draw? Like, why is it a decent draw? Like, we're going to kill Noble Hierarch and they have 2 basics still? Just going to, like, die to getting attacked for 3 times? This is my Blood Moon. My Blood Moon's mediocre. Yeah, I think the next time we play this, we're gonna play it as Jeskai. I think this combo is really powerful, but I think the blue-red shell is just kind of not good. I think we're winning games because this combo is good, not because we're playing a blue-red shell. I guess I kill this to cut them off of double green cards. If we're, like, a skilled magician here, we'll just, like, rip the Walking Ballista and kill them. But we also have, like, some tutors and cantrips as well. What do you get by playing white? Hard removal, Path to Exile, Supreme Verdict, Nahiri. Do I want to play Possibility Storm? Helix is a big one, too. Do I want to play Possibility Storm? I feel like that could go really badly for us, right? Although I guess it makes... I don't really want to Remand on this board. I'm going to play the Possibility Storm. It makes their collected companies a lot worse. Possibility Storm doesn't exile things, chat. It puts them on the bottom of the deck. If I could exile my Walking Ballista with it, I wouldn't play it. Hey, look. Lyra Dawnbringer turns into Aven Mind Sensor. Crap. I need to... Fuck. Oh, everything sucks. We're very dead. Yay, we got to Remand it. Yay. All right, so at enter combat for them, we're gonna cast Lightning Bolt, and I hope we turn it into Cryptic Command. Yeah, that's the line here. The line, I'm pretty sure we could hit a Serum Visions into an Anger of the Gods and like maybe get out of this. No, we're done. No, we could find another opt, and opt could turn into Cryptic Command. Oh, Magic is fun. It's a good time. It's a good time. Remember the time our opponent mulliganed to 5 and then just completely bodied us because we have Blood Moon in our deck? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm remembers, chat. Oh, Voice of Resurgence. Playing a deck that cares about Voice of Resurgence feels really bad. No, we have Anger and K return for voice tokens. Echoing Truth is like pretty narrow and bad, I think. Alright, has Anger. Let's do it. What's going on, Brecken Sky? Evening. Not going to kill this because we have the Anger to line it up with. I'm gonna take that because it's a combo piece. We need another red source, but I think we're supposed to keep that. Do I just turn this into a red source? I think so, actually. It's world's most expensive fetch land. Put it sit there to go AFK for a second. Justin went nuts on the timeout. 3 mana Lay the Land. Hey, even Lay the Land would cost 2 on this board. Thank you very much. I don't look at deck lists while I'm streaming. Soul Time, Malira Chord. That card doesn't die to my Anger of the Gods. I hate everything about everything. I am really off playing straight blue-red. There will be a version of this deck with Nahiri. That's the one I want to explore next for sure. Just like having real removal and real sweepers, I think is a pretty big upside. I think you cut Cryptic Burgle and you just like play a deck that plays to the board. I'm pretty sure you just like forego Cryptic Command. If you want counter spells, you play like Izzet Charm and Remand and Spell Snare. I agree that you can't play Cryptic Storm and Nahiri. Nahiri also fixes some of your issues with having too much top end too, because she lets you loot through your deck. So she smooths it a little. 0, but you could play Gideon, you could play Lad Chat, I think, no problem. No, I don't think you play any other Planeswalkers. I think the only Planeswalker you play is, pretty confident the only Planeswalker you want to play in the deck is Nahiri. Yeah, 3-mana Chad's pretty decent. I mean, alright, if we luck into our Walking Ballista next turn, we can kill them. Maybe I should have fetched before I let them untap, just because we're going to get got by a stupid Even Mind Sensor now. Why not red-white instead of just Kai? Because you need Tolaria West to find your Endless one. Yeah, I have a Bolt, but then I can't. I want a Cryptic bounce this Night of the Reliquary. So like if they have Even Mind Sensor here, I kind of get fucked. If they have Even Mind Sensor, I have to like Bolt the Mind Sensor, Izzet Charm this, and then take a 6-ball. Even Mind Sensor is a problem because it stops my fetch land from getting a land potentially. Lets me look at the top 4. And my Cryptic Command currently costs 5 mana. Chat, this costs 5 mana. That's the problem. I need to fetch to cast the spell. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, I'm just gonna try not to brick. God bless. Unsummon, draw a card. Please and thank you. Yeah, it just depends on how much redundancy you want, basically. Zodiac Cavern comes at a cost. Like, a colorless land, I think, is worse than a tapped blue land on average. Well, it's not. It's different than Academy Runes Burgle, because Zodiac Cavern... Well, okay, so with Zodiac Cavern, you can't play Walking Ballista, basically. Maybe that's worth trying, too. You just, like, play that instead of Walking Ballista, just, like, play more lands. I just, like, kill their board here. I probably just kill their board here, right? Why do we need to hit Sensor before we try to combo? Mind Sensor doesn't affect Possibility Storm. No, I think I need to clean their board off here. Maybe that's incorrect. I don't know. I think I'm just, like, on the Hail Mary at this point. I'm just gonna, like, loot with this as a charm at end of turn and, like, hope to hit my thing. I think we're just dead at this point. Because even if we hit the Ballista at this point, they get to play their Knight of the Reliquary here, and then they, like, sack their lands and their voice, and they have Knight plus voice token to kill us. Yeah. Yeah, Harvest Fire could be okay. I don't know. I think it just, like, instead of playing shit tier red removal, you just, like, should play Path to Exiles and Supreme Verdicts and just, like, play a Jeskai deck. Yeah, probably Death Eater. Probably. It's one of these, like, fan favorite archetypes that people, like, love to submit that it's just, they're just not good. Oh, 15 damage killed them. I wasn't thinking about their health total. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I should have taken one more draw. You can't splash for a double red card. You can't splash a double red card. You're playing a 3-color deck at that point. Alright. Okay, returns will be pretty good. Another thing about this configuration too is the last Possibility Storm list we played had a bunch of Anger of the Gods in the main deck, and I actually think sweepers like that are in a pretty good spot right now as opposed to spot removal like Lightning Bolt. I think we're dead, chat. Remand's a pretty mediocre card in the format right now too. There's a lot of decks, case in point, that just like don't care about a Remand. So like playing for Remand seems a little medium. I just like I don't really have any outs here, right? There's gonna like attack me 3 times and I'm gonna die. I have one main deck Anger of the Gods at the moment. I have one I can draw into. I guess we'll hang out trying to find that. Iron with the $10 donation. No blue steel. The answer is still no. I mean, cryptics give me health if I live to get to cast Cryptic Command. Yeah, I think I loot with Izzet Charm looking for a thing, unless they cast a spell here that I want to remand, of course. I think that qualifies because they actually can't recast it here. Did you think telling me it has Pilla-Palla in it increased your chances of me saying yes? Because you'd be wrong. Yeah, and like even if we like set up to combo here, it's not going to be good enough, right? Because like they're above 15 and they have more than 6 permanents. I guess the line here is just like tap Steam Vents, loot with Izzet Charm, hope to hit Anger of the Gods. No, I think I'd rather just give myself the max. I can't combo. There's no point in using my search effect because I'm not comboing because it doesn't actually win the game. So there's no point in comboing, so I need to find my Anger of the Gods. So I just want to give myself the most chances at Anger of the Gods this game. Unless they shock themselves with another land, the comboing doesn't accomplish anything. Oh, look, a matchup where Blood Moon is good. I can't Cryptic tap their team while there's a Possibility Storm out, chat. That is not how this card works. That is not how this card works. Give it to me, baby. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, that sweet, sweet shaman dream. Alright, let's grab these. Side up this Blood Moon for the 10th time this league. At least the ins and outs line up well. Is Blood Sun Depth something I already have in the donation queue? This has got to be a keep, right? It's got Storm, it's got Key Return, it's got some stuff. Yeah, that's a big reason. So, like, the original list didn't have any bolts in it. And all 0 bolts might not be right. I think less bolts is correct, because this deck isn't really snap bolting its opponent out of the game since it doesn't have Snapcaster Mages. Yeah, pretty much, Isha. I agree with that. I think pretty much all of the changes we have in this configuration versus the last one were pretty supremely punished by most of the things we played against here. Looking for lands at this point. I guess I'm taking that. If I don't draw another land this turn, I'm going to play this tapped. If I do draw a land, I'm going to play the land out, because this is potentially our second combo piece here, which is nice. For the right amount of dollary dues, anything can be on the docket any day of the week. We had some people send some donations to push this on up to get it done today. Land. Ding. That's actually just great, right? Thank God. Land. God bless us. Everyone. Trigger. This is why there should be 26 lands in this deck, by the way. In case you were wondering. You just want to hit 5 every game. And, like, these 4 don't really count as land. So, I think cutting a land is pretty bad out of this archetype, too. Our Jeskai deck's definitely going to have 26 or 27 lands in it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hopefully we get a turn 3. Hopefully we're lucky enough to draw another red source. The Jeskai deck that I'm going to build with Possibility Storm combo is going to have a minimum of 26 lands. If we play another Possibility Storm list on this stream, which is probably a when more than an if, it's going to have 26 lands in it at a minimum. No, I think, and that's something I think a lot of people do poorly with these decks a lot of the time, Dows. I think if you're interested in being a faster combo deck, you just shouldn't play this deck. You should just play something that's a dedicated fast combo deck. I think a lot of the time people put too much stock into, like, trying to make these slower combo decks faster, and they're just making worse versions of the fast combo decks that already exist in Modern. Nope, that's not how things work around here. We play the decks that people submit me to be played, and we play them in the order that they're submitted, or the order that they're prioritized based on how much they're submitted with. There's rules! Without rules, we are animals, chat, and then it's just anarchy. Probably 4 of each. Smoke if you got him, chap. Alright, so I think I just want a K return here, right? I guess K return's an instant. Nah, I'm just gonna K return. They can regenerate one thing here. They get to save one guy. What's wrong with Tolaria West? Explain. Why do you want an enabler that isn't Tolaria West? What does finding a different enabler do for you better than what Tolaria West does? I actually really like Tolaria West because I like the idea of having extra combo pieces that are land drops for the reasons I've been talking about, which are these archetypes really want to hit all their land drops every game. My body is ready to Wrath of God them again. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Hit me, baby, one more time. Is this a concession anger? What do we think? This is probably pretty close to a concession anger, right? Just like elves usually can't beat 2 sweepers. You can play Zodiac Cavern as a colorless way, but the problem with Zodiac Cavern is to cast it with Morph, it costs 3 mana. But maybe that's fine because Possibility Storm protects itself, but it means you can't really combo the same turn, so... Alright, so we have Cryptic up and we win the game next turn. Win the game next turn. You go get Academy Runes and use Academy Runes to put Ballista on top of your deck. That's true, actually. We should avoid drawing cards because we could draw Emrakul. That's a good suggestion. Thank you for pointing that out, Ryland. Iron with the $1 donation. Notice me. I saw you. I really don't want to add more random Legacy decks to the queue. Bad Legacy decks are just, like, really bad in Legacy right now, and they just get shit on by 4-color and Grixis Delver. So I think I'm going to limit the number of Legacy brews that I take until the format changes. Just, like playing decks that are underpowered against decks that, like, are busted in Legacy just isn't fun for me. So I'd be happy to send that money back, or you can apply it to something else in the queue, whichever you'd prefer. But... The Legacy content is just less popular than Modern, and it's just not fun playing bad decks against Grixis Delver and 4-color control. No, I'm not doing Hexer Hearthstone anymore on stream. The content's just not popular enough. Focusing on Magic. Yeah, the fact, I think K-Return, I might even still play a couple of K-Return in the Jeskai build, because I really like that if you have K-Return in your bin, when you Possibility Storm into the Emrakul, you get to clear their go-wide creatures, and then Emrakul can pretty much take care of everything else they have in play. Why not go for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Stream? I mean, I hope this Blood Moon's good. We have a Spell Snare on the draw, which is pretty reasonable as well. The Spell Snare and this Blood Moon are probably both bad. I mean, like, these are, like, spells in our deck, so it's like there's a good chance if we mulligan, like, they're still gonna be in our deck. Yep. God, we are just super dead, huh? I mean, at least Kozilek's return kills this guy. Glass half full. Glass half full dies to Kozilek's return. Kinda dies to Kozilek's return, gets blanked by a pump spell. Kozilek's return is colorless. We are just very dead. Take the first 10 for Dredge and the second for Enduring Ideal. Sounds good, Iron. They said Devoid was a debuffing mechanic. It's gonna board basically like we boarded against Elves. I guess Dispel's probably okay here. They have a lot of pump spells. How much longer are we going for? I think I'm going to do one more league after this. This deck went pretty quickly. What else did I have in my queue today? We'll probably wrap up. Jeff, have you considered taking the things you like most and combining them with things you like least? How do you upload videos from Twitch to YouTube? Well, there's two different ways. So how I do it, so it's the least amount of work possible, is that while you're streaming with OBS, you can also record local video files midstream. So whenever I start a league, I start recording a video. Whenever I stop a league, I stop recording it. And then I upload those videos midstream, so that way they're ready to be formatted and published when I sign off. Yeah, I might wrap up with 7 Land Belcher. That one's always a quick one. The person that donated for All in Vizier, I asked if we were going to play it today, and I told them most likely not, and they said they'd be back tomorrow, so I think I'd like to save that one for tomorrow since I told that person that we weren't going to do it today. There's no reason to put a Sphinx's Revelation in the deck. In the deck with 4 Nahiri and 4 Possibility Storm, it's already going to be so clunky you'll hear it coming down the hallway at you, so you probably just should, like, put slimmer cards in it. Gotta be conservative. Every card you put in a modern deck that costs more than 2 mana comes at a very real cost. You need to have a good reason for why it's in your deck. Modern is a format that's about being resource efficient and trying not to die with cards in your hand if you're playing an interactive deck. So every card you put in your hand that costs more than 2 mana, you need to be very aware of and have a good reason for why it's being included in your deck. I can't even go get Walking Ballista because they discarded it. Yeah. I think, not only was our result much worse than the 5-0 in this league, but I think the changes that we made in this deck, talking about, just like the move away from Spreading Seas and the less sweepers for some lightning bolts, and I think we had mana leaks in the other one as well. The only change I think I liked in this build versus the other blue-red list is I think Walking Ballista over Endless One and Academy Runes in the mana base, I think that's a worthwhile swap. But I think if you wanted to play straight blue-red Possibility Storm again, I would look at the list we played previously and just slot the Academy Runes and the Walking Ballista into it while cutting the explosives from the sideboard. That being said, if I was going to work on this archetype some more, I think I would definitely focus on building it as a Jeskai deck with the Possibility Storm combo, likely with Nahiri in it as well, because I think Nahiri is pretty reasonable. Yep, yeah, the red-white legendary deck went 4-1. That'll be on YouTube in a little while. All right, what are we doing now?